Hello, I'm the FanFic Critic. I read it, you listen. Today, we're going to be taking a look at a Harry Potter fanfiction by the name of One of Those Nights. The author is the Pretender 501. This fanfic is rated M, it's in English, it's romance humor, and it's Draco and Harry. Let's read. Title, One of Those Nights. Rating, word count, 2800/R. Summary, in which Harry is very lucky and possibly an alcoholic, and Draco is, well, Draco is beautiful in more ways than one. Warning, / cross-dressing. How delightful. Beta. Many thanks to Lerino, Purple Knights, and Sweet Flag for agreeing to beta this PWP for me. All mistakes are mine, and of course, thanks to Malfoy for everything. Author's notes. Read, review, don't flame. Written for Summer Kinkfest on lj.prompt = cross-dressing and vibrators. This fic is smutty, smuttery fic, smutastic. No plot here, though I'm sure you'll find it elsewhere. So anyway, porn fans, enjoy. No, Draco snapped. You lost the bet, Harry said, smirking. So you don't really have a choice. I didn't think you could swallow 10 of those things, Draco shouted, his eyebrows itching towards his hairline. But I guess I'm dating a closet alcoholic. Harry snorted and lifted the cover off a box of embroidered with 3 golden W's. His slight grin broadened as he peeled back the pink, scented tissue paper and held up a skimpy black lace slip. Ah, just what I ordered. Do you want me to put it on you? No, I said N.O., Potter. Is your hearing as bad as your eyesight? Draco glared at the costume. Furious splotches of red colored his cheeks. But Draco, Harry said, ignoring the insult. He stepped closer and dragged his fingernails over Draco's bare torso. He was pleased to watch him shiver in response. You have the body for it. Draco pursed his lips and adopted a condescending tone. It's for women, Potter. It's fucking stockings and fucking flowers and fucking lace. And no, Potter, I'm not fucking wearing it. Harry twined his fingers around Draco's arm, tugging him closer so that their bodies met. His surname accompanied by swearing, and Draco's familiar drawl undid Harry long before they even got together. Draco knew this, and usually reserved his power for when he was downright furious or horny. Now that there was much difference between the two. If you keep stalling, I'll make you wear the heels as well. Harry gestured to an unopened box, and Draco's mouth gaped. Heels, Potter, he spat. You bloody, rotten one. It's either tonight in front of me or tomorrow in front of everyone at the costume ball, Harry interrupted, brushing blonde hair behind Draco's ear. He flicked his tongue against the lobe. Draco's breath quickened. And I know you like attention, so if you'd rather do it in public, I understand. Draco looked down, his hands resting in the crooks of Harry's elbows, pulling him closer still. But either way, I'll have to shag you afterwards. Draco turned his head away from Harry's teasing and drew backwards. His gray eyes darkened, and Harry watched indecision weigh on Draco's angular face. It seemed to be pondering his chances of getting out of the whole ordeal. He teetered back and forth on his heels for a moment, and then grabbed the lingerie out of Harry's hand and stormed into the bathroom while muttering foul words under his breath. The door slammed shut behind him. Harry smiled and adjusted himself in his trousers before he settled onto the bed to wait. Draco could swear all he wanted. Maybe next time he'd think twice before declaring to Ron, Seamus, and Blaze that he could drink Harry under the table. 9 fire whiskeys and a butter beer later, Draco wasn't exactly coherent enough to regret that statement, but he certainly was now. Harry toed his foot along the patterned rug for a while before he stood up again impatiently. "Don't take too long in there," he called. He listened to Draco mutter an incoherent response behind the door, picking up on a swear word or two. He imagined punishing that filthy mouth, and an idea popped into his head. He quickly rummaged through a drawer in their nightstand and pulled out a bright pink vibrator. He smiled, imagining how Draco would react when he saw it. "Is it everything you ever dreamed of?" Draco's cold voice sounded from the doorway. Harry whirled around, quickly hiding the toy behind his back. He swallowed thickly. Draco looked utterly abashed. His creamy white legs were stuffed into sheer black stockings he had no business wearing. There were holes where his body hair had snagged and ripped the delicate fabric, but damn if it didn't take Harry's sweat all the same. The translucent flower pattern slip molded to his hopelessly slender frame, giving the illusion of a woman's narrow waist. Draco had fastened the garter wrong. The straps clung to the slip, not the belt, and the tension tugged the slip downwards in a failed attempt to cover the apparent bulge stuffed into lacy black panties. "Well, fuck," Harry gasped. His heartbeat pulsed through his entire body. Draco crossed his arms and gave Harry a dignified look. "I am not wearing this." Harry quirked his eyebrows. "That's strange. My eyesight must be worse than I thought because, to me, it looks like you're wearing it." Draco let out a hiss. "I mean, I'm taking it off right now. You had your fun, and it's coming off." He turned on his heel. "Tut, tut," Harry scolded, while he tucked the vibrator into his back pocket. Draco paused in the doorway, and Harry admired the nice curve of his arse, accentuated by the cheeky panties. "Well, I'm not sure your parents will be amused by your choice of costume this year." "You're fucking mental," Draco growled. "No, I'm bloody hard. Now come over here." Harry sat on the bed, the vibrator tucked away in his pocket, pressing against his bum. He patted the space next to him. "You want it off, Draco? I'll take it off." Draco remained in the doorway for another millisecond before he whirled around and rounded on Harry. "You're going to make me work for this, aren't you?" Harry sighed. "If you even think about mentioning this to the weasel and the mud..." He stopped when Harry's palms rested on the obscene bulge rarely contained by the lace knickers he wore. In an instant, Draco's entire demeanor changed. Biting words were swallowed, sharp features softened, and haunty eyes dilated. "You're not very nice," Harry chastised, running his hand firmly up and down the heated area. "And you're not a very good liar either, because it feels to me like you're enjoying this." I thought." His breath hitched when Harry's hand snaked beneath the panties. "Oh, really? Should I stop then?" Harry looked up and batted his eyelashes innocently. When Draco didn't respond, Harry sat up straight, gripping Draco's thighs, and pulled him closer, so he stood directly between Harry's legs. "I have a surprise for you." Draco tensed. Harry moved up the strip of lace covering his cock to the side, freeing Draco's erection. He gripped it and slowly ran his hands over the velvety smooth skin. Draco shuddered madly. "I think you'll like it, Draco." What is it?" Draco whined. He was going to pieces as Harry calloused fingers teased his most sensitive area. Harry pulled the pink vibrator out of his back pocket and watched as recognition slowly dawned in Draco's eyes. No, 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 I can't, he chanted, shaking his head, but Harry knew he didn't mean it because his voice was as wispy and transparent as the skin of a ghost. Relax. Harry traced the head of his cock, and Draco jerked his hips forward, rocking into the contact. Harry grabbed the garter belt on either side of his thighs and held Draco still. Harry, Draco cried in that ghost of a voice. Harry pulled out his wand and summoned a jar of clear liquid from the nightstand. He coated the vibrator with viscous liquid until it oozed down the toy. Perversely, he tapped the plastic toy with his wand, and it shuddered in his palm. Draco was watching his every movement, his eyes wide with lust, and something else. Need. Do it slowly, Harry whispered. He put the toy in Draco's hand and watched Draco swallow, his Adam's apple bobbing up and down. I can't. I don't. He stared at the fake cock in his hands. Harry cupped a hand around his ear. Speak up, Draco. You're mumbling. Draco gave Harry a defiant look. When Harry was unfazed by the glare, he took a ragged breath. Can I suck it? Draco asked. He used his quiet voice, the one that made Harry shiver. The voice he used when he was too aroused to realize he was using it. He rarely asked for anything. He didn't seem to realize his submissive behavior would give him more power. Harry chewed on his thumbnail. Put it wherever you want to, he said, licking his lips. Except in me, he amended after Draco fixed him with a wicked grin. Draco licked the lubricant dildo tentatively, light, soft, teasing licks, putting his tongue on display. But it wasn't long before his playfulness became lewd. He trailed his tongue up and down the length until all the lubricant was replaced by saliva. Harry took shallow, rapid breaths. His cock strained against his trousers, and he teased it lightly through the coarse fabric.